Hello and welcome to An Old Man Watches, and today I'm going to be talking about Machete from 2010. And the titular Machete is a Mexican federale, a one-man wrecking ball of law enforcement action. And his take-no-prisoners dedication to taking down crooks has made him a perpetual thorn in the side of a drug lord named Therese. Now, it happens that Therese is a former federale himself, Machete's former partner, in fact. And he puts his knowledge and contacts to good use to lay a trap for the troublesome government agent. This trap comes off, ending with Machete's wife being killed, and Machete himself left for dead by the triumphant Therese. Now, of course, our title character survives. And 3 years later, he's in the southern US scraping a living from doing odd jobs, as a lot of illegal immigrants do. And through a convoluted series of events, Machete finds himself the patsy of corrupt businessman Michael Booth, who wants to use him as the fall guy for a scheme to ensure the election of a hardline anti-illegal immigration senator. Machete, of course, violently objects to being set up yet again and embarks on a violent crusade of vengeance, which is what takes up the majority of the film. Now, this is a Robert Rodriguez film, and as with a lot of Rodriguez's work, he also wrote and produced it, and I believe edited and was director of photography, and I think maybe even did some of the composition, like the music. So it's very much a Robert Rodriguez project, and there's a little surprise then, I think, that it features plenty of the highly stylized violence that we frequently see in his non-family friendly movies, because Rodriguez also does a lot of slightly twee family-friendly stuff like Spy Kids, which is actually a movie I really enjoy, the first one anyway. But while it's this film, Machete is stylistically and thematically in keeping with a lot of his other adult movies, non-kids films. That's not to say that it's derivative of or interchangeable with those other films. And I think it has some interesting aspects to discuss. So let's delve in. So when Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino were working on their double feature Grindhouse, they decided to make 5 fake trailers to air with their films. And these are going to be trailers for movies that did not actually exist. They were fake trailers. They were just going to make the trailers. And one of those 5 trailers was for Machete. Now, as it happens, Rodriguez did have a full script for this film because he'd written one almost 15 years earlier, but he'd never got the film into production. And so he had, a movie, and he made a trailer for the movie that didn't exist. And it was only after the positive response to this fake trailer that he was actually able to move ahead and produce this movie. So in a very real sense, this film began life as a trailer and morphed into an actual production only later. At which point, ironically, they shot a new trailer for it. It's, certainly an unusual way for a film to come about, and I could easily see it going horribly wrong if you just wrote a trailer and only wrote a script for a trailer and then tried to cobble together a movie off the back of that. And it probably helped this film a lot that there was a script that had actually been written before the fake trailer was made. Which is not to say that I think the film's final form was entirely as originally envisaged. I do think that the fact that the fake trailer had been produced will have influenced its production, as will the fact that they, went back and made the movie after the trailer. Not only did the final film have to fit the trailer, but they also had to account for the fact that, when the movie went into production, Rodriguez was able to get some pretty big names, as you can see from the image on your screen, to be involved, who weren't necessarily involved with the trailer. But yeah, I think the movie probably, did end up differently from what Rodriguez originally envisaged. And I think that, the fact that this movie started as a deliberately grindhouse trailer has influenced the movie that we ultimately get to see. While Rodriguez has always been big on stylized action over top characters, Machete is notably more sexualized than other films like Desperado or Once Upon a Time in Mexico, as leading man Danny Trejo beds practically every woman he meets during his bombastic blood feud with his gringo adversaries. And maybe it's possible that Rodriguez always intended to go for a schlockier, more video nasty feel for the project. But yeah, I suspect that Machete's inception as a fake Grindhouse trailer may well have influenced the film's final form. Now, I want to be clear, this is not actually an exploitation film. Its female characters have rather more agency than they tend to do in real exploitation movies, and its exploitative elements are, a sensationalistic facade. But it's still, a factor that's noticeably different from Rodriguez's other work, and it may well be a factor in how much you enjoy it. If that kind of thing puts you off, it's probably still going to put you off, even if it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek. Now, one thing you may have noticed from my synopsis of the movie is the opening act sets up this big rivalry between Machete and Therese, and you would think that Machete's quest for vengeance would be the through line of the film. Betrayed by his former partner, the lawman must go outside the law in order to get justice. But that's really not the case. What we actually get is Machete being betrayed again, this time by someone else entirely, in his quest to revenge that wrong instead. It almost feels to me like the script is comprised of two halves of separate films that happen to feature the same character rather than a single coherent narrative. Now, I think that disconnection is most likely entirely deliberate. Rodriguez, has written a number of projects, and he's shown enough scripting skill in the past that that's not something he would do by mistake or by accident. And it's thematically appropriate. Grindhouse movies were not exactly known for their rigorous quality of script, or cinematography, or sound. But even though it's likely intentional, it's an unusual, potentially provocative decision, and it may wrong foot some members of the audience, because it really does seem like it's setting up this big rivalry with Torres, and then that's really not what the movie is about. So that is Robert Rodriguez's Machete, yet another of the movies that this man has written, produced, directed, edited, and really it's very much a personal project. And so for next time, we're going to look at an excellent example of how wrong things can go when a studio just lets somebody go wild on their passion project, with the 1980 critical and commercial bomb Heaven's Gate. But that's next time. Until then, thanks for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it.